If you're watching this video, then you're lazy just like me. Luckily, Flutter has you covered. Just drop in an animated foo widget and you're basically set. There are a whole bunch of them. Animated container is the daddy of them all, so let's see what it can do. First, we will spice up a regular container. Give it a size and a color and make it look camera ready. Then change the container to be an animated container. And then we need to give it a duration. It can be hours or milliseconds or whatever you want. Next, we need to change our widget to be a stateful widget, and then extract the properties of the animated container we want to animate to local variables. We'll take the width and the height and make a function that updates these variables in a setState call. We'll make some small UI changes and make a button that will call the updateState method on press. Click the button and the animated container does its magic. We can do the same with the color. Want to spice it up even more, then change the animation's curve. The curve defines the rate of change for the animation's value. The default curve is a straight line. Straight lines are boring. Real men, women prefer curves. Give it a bounce out curve. Cool. Default curve's not good enough? Then make your own. Let's take a look at tweens. A tween is short for in between. It is something that gives you a beginning and an end, and then maps that progress over an input range from 0 to 1. We'll create a basic tween of type double, and we'll give it a beginning and an end value. Now we'll use a tween animation builder to animate the tween from the beginning to the end. Give the widget the tween a duration, a builder, and then a child. We provide a child because we don't want to rebuild the child every time the build function is called. The build function will give you access to the child widget and the value of the tween as it is animated over the given duration. Just tell the builder what to return and there you go. Here we're returning the child wrapped in a scale to animate the size of the widget. You'll note that the tween animation builder animates as soon as the build function is called. To do another update, just change the end value and the tween animation builder will call the build function again and update from the old end value to the new end value. You can create all kind of different tweens, for example a color tween. Take a look, there is also a nice tween called tween sequence that allows you to combine multiple tweens together. You are a pro, and pros don't need those safety wheel animation widgets. Pros create their animations from scratch. To do all that, you'll need an animation controller, the thingy that controls the animation. And the animation controller needs a VSync. And to get the VSync, you'll need to add a single ticker provider state mixin to the class definition and provide the stateful object as the VSync. Why? Don't ask questions, we don't have time. But it has something to do with the update of the animation and to prevent the animation from using unnecessary off-screen resources. A mouthful. Now, give your animation controller a duration. And that is it, it's created. But what is created must be destroyed. It is important to dispose of the animation controller to avoid those memory leaks. Next, we need some way to be notified when the animation controller changes values. We can, if we want to, add a listener to the animation and then do state updates or whatever when the listener is called. But that's a lame way to do it and will result in the entire build function being called. We are pro animators and we will use pro widgets. Make way for animated builder. Drop that bad boy in. In the widget, we specify the controller, a child widget, and a builder function. We tell the builder we want to return a rotated version of the child. So we wrap it in a transform.rotate and we specify the angle of the rotation by getting the current value of the controller. The builder function will be called whenever the animation controller changes values. One thing left to do, start the animation. For that we'll call controller.forward. Yeah buddy. Look at that. Let's make it spin forever by changing the forward to repeat. Listen, real talk, our time is almost up and there's still a lot of topics left to cover. Most importantly, creating animation objects from tweens and then using those animation objects in transition widgets. These animation objects can have their own curves and can also do cool things like create a reverse animation. These foo transitions are almost like animated foo. They are already made and only require you to provide an animated object. With these you can easily create some animations that you have better control over. And they are also used throughout Flutter, for example in page transitions. If you wanted to, you can even create your own. Unfortunately, we don't have time to cover them in depth, but luckily I have you covered. I've made a complete course on animation in Flutter, covering everything at a turtle's pace. Check it out at courses.funwith.app. You can use the promo code FUN for a discount. The link is in the description down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, remember to subscribe. Until next time, cheers.